In the vast expanse of the Milky Way, where stars burned like forgotten promises and nebulae swirled in colors that defied human description, the galactic concordance had stood as a beacon of fragile unity for centuries. It was a sprawling alliance of over 200 sentient species, each contributing their unique strengths to a collective that promised peace, trade, and mutual protection. The elder races, the ethereal Zorathians with their telepathic webs, the armored Krogs who forged worlds from asteroid belts, and the sly Vexeri who navigated hyperspace like fish in water, had long dominated the council chambers on the neutral world of Elisera Prime. They spoke in harmonics and data streams, debating policies that span light years. Humanity arrived late to this cosmic table, stumbling out of their sol system in the year 2147 with rudimentary warp drives and a history scarred by self-inflicted wars. They were seen as primitives, a young species with a penchant for violence and innovation in equal measure. Yet, the concordance extended an olive branch eager to integrate these resilient upstarts whose stories of survival, terraforming barren Mars, enduring nuclear winters, whispered of potential. The humans, led by Ambassador Elias Thorne, accepted with cautious optimism. Thorne was a man forged in the fires of Earth's unification wars, his face etched with lines from battles where he had buried friends and ideals alike. He believed in peace, not because he was naive, but because he had seen the alternative too many times. The peace talks began in earnest on Elisera Prime's grand spires, where gravity fields adjusted to accommodate every physiology. Thorne stood before the assembly, his voice steady through the universal translators. "We come not as conquerors, but as partners. Humanity has much to learn, and much to offer. Our history teaches us that division leads to ruin, but unity can move stars." The Zorathians hummed approval, their psionic fields rippling with curiosity. The Krogs grunted, appreciating the humans' engineering prowess that rivaled their own. Even the Vexeri, ever suspicious, nodded their elongated heads, intrigued by human adaptability. Treaties were signed in holographic ink, borders drawn in virtual space. Human colonies sprouted on fringe worlds, trading fusion tech for alien biotech. For a decade, it seemed the galaxy had embraced this new era. But peace, as Thorne would later reflect, was a veil thin as starlight. Cracks formed in the shadows. The Vexeri, masters of subterfuge, began whispering of human expansionism. They breed like vermin, one delegate hissed in private channels, consuming resources without regard. The Krogs, protective of their mining empires, eyed human asteroid harvesters with growing ire. And the Zorathians, sensing the undercurrents of fear, withdrew into contemplative silence, their telepathy picking up echoes of doubt. The tipping point came during the Nebula Summit, a gathering meant to solidify alliances against rogue pirate fleets. Thorne arrived with a delegation, including Captain Linavas, a sharp-eyed tactician from the Terran fleet, and Dr. Marcus Hale, a xenobiologist whose optimism bordered on zeal. As the summit unfolded in the crystalline halls overlooking Elisara's auroral skies, tensions simmered. A Vexeri envoy accused humans of encroaching on neutral zones, presenting falsified sensor logs. Thorne countered with evidence of Vexeri spy drones in Sol's outer rim. "These are misunderstandings," Thorne urged, his hands open in a gesture of sincerity. "Let us resolve them through dialogue, not division." But the Krogs, emboldened by Vexeri prodding, demanded reparations. "Your ships scar our belts," their representative bellowed, armored plates clanking. The Zorathians attempted mediation, but their psionic pleas fell on deaf ears. In the heat of debate, a human aide, young and impulsive, muttered under his breath about alien arrogance. The translators caught it, amplifying the insult across the chamber. Chaos erupted. Vexeri delegates slithered away, activating hidden jammers that disrupted communications. Krog enforcers activated their gravity hammers, shattering podiums. Zorathian fields crackled with alarm. Thorne shouted for calm, but it was too late. Blasts echoed as security forces clashed human sidearms versus alien energy lances. Voss pulled Thorne behind a barrier, her pulse rifle humming to life. "Ambassador, we need to evac now." As they fled through collapsing corridors, Thorne glimpsed the horror, bodies of all species strewn like discarded puppets. The summit, meant for unity, became a slaughter. By the time human shuttles pierced the atmosphere, war declarations flooded the nets. The Vexeri-Krolg alliance cited human aggression as justification, rallying lesser species to their banner. The Zorathians, pacifists at heart, declared neutrality but secretly funneled aid to the humans, whispering prophecies of a resilient flame that would endure. Back on Earth, in the fortified bunkers of New Geneva, Thorn faced the Terran Council. His uniform was torn, his eyes hollow. "Peace has failed," he admitted, voice cracking. "But we will not." The council erupted in debate. Some called for isolation, to fortify Sol and wait out the storm. Others demanded retaliation. Thorn silenced them with a raised hand. "We fight not for vengeance, but survival. Remember, the man who destroys his weak self can never be destroyed by others." It was an old Earth proverb, one he had etched into his mind during his own trials, a reminder that true strength came from within, from conquering doubt and fear. Preparations began. Humanity, outnumbered and outgunned, turned inward. Factories churned out dreadnoughts infused with scavenged alien tech. Soldiers trained in zero-G sims, pushing bodies to breaking points. Voss, promoted to admiral, drilled fleets in guerrilla tactics, drawing from Earth's asymmetric wars. Hale worked tirelessly, decoding Zorathian gifts, psionic amplifiers that allowed human pilots to anticipate enemy moves. The first battles were brutal. Vexeri stealth fleets ambushed human outposts in the Orion Arm, their cloaked ships slicing through defenses like shadows. Krolg behemoths bombarded colonies, reducing verdant worlds to slag. Humanity reeled, losing a third of their fleet in the Battle of Vega's Vale. Thorn, now a field commander, led from the front aboard the flagship Resilience. In the midst of a Krolg assault, his ship shuddered under impacts. Alarms wailed as hull breaches vented atmosphere. "Shields at 20%, an officer shouted. Thorn gripped the command chair, mind racing. His weak self, the diplomat who trusted too easily, screamed to surrender. But he crushed it, drawing on the proverb's fire. Divert power to engines. Ram the lead cruiser. The Resilience surged, plowing into the Krolg vessel. Explosions bloomed, debris scattering like cosmic confetti. The enemy faltered, retreating. It was a Pyrrhic victory, but, word spread, humans didn't break, they bent reality to their will. As the war dragged on, alliances shifted. Some minor species, inspired by human tenacity, defected to their side. The Zorathians, breaking neutrality, shared visions of a galaxy remade. Yet, the cost mounted. Thorn lost an arm to a Vexeri assassin, Voss buried her crew by the thousands. In quiet moments, Thorn stared at the stars, wondering if peace's failure doomed them all. But, humanity prevailed in small ways. Ingenuity turned the tide, hacked Vexeri cloaks, retrofitted Krolg armor. The weak self, fear, hesitation, was destroyed in the crucible of battle. And, the galaxy began to whisper, "These humans, they endure." Word count for Part 1, approximately 2,650 words. Part 2, The Forged resolved. The war's second phase unfolded like a supernova, slow build, explosive release. Humanity, bloodied but unbowed, pushed beyond Sol's defenses into contested sectors. The galactic concordance, once a symbol of unity, lay in ruins, its spires on Eli Seraprime now craters from orbital strikes. The Vexeri-Krolg coalition, dubbing themselves the Dominion, consolidated power, enslaving neutral worlds and harvesting resources to fuel their armadas. They broadcast propaganda across subspace, humans as barbaric invaders, unfit for the stars. Thorn, prosthetic arm gleaming under bridge lights, coordinated from the Resilience's war room. His team had grown, Voss at his side, her strategic mind ablaze. Hale, now augmented with Zorathian implants, bridging human intuition with alien foresight. They recruited from shattered colonies, farmers turned fighters, scientists wielding plasma torches. "We are all that stands," Thorn told them. "Destroy the weakness within, and no foe can touch us." The Dominion struck first in this new offensive, targeting the human stronghold on Proxima Centauri b. A fleet of 100 ships materialized from hyperspace, Vexeri shadows weaving through Krolg battering rams. Human sensors screamed warnings. Voss, commanding the orbital defenses, barked orders, form phalanx. Prioritize the cloakers. The battle raged for days. Lasers crisscrossed the void, ships evaporating in silent fireballs. Thorn piloted a fighter wing, dodging debris, his mind sharpened by Hale's psionic link. He felt enemy intentions like whispers, a Vexery ambush here, a Krulg charge there. Flank them, he commanded, leading his squadron through an asteroid field. In the chaos, Thorn's fighter took a hit, spinning toward the planet's atmosphere. Alarms blared as heat shields failed. His weak self resurfaced, panic, the urge to eject and flee. But he crushed it, steadying the craft with sheer will. Not today, he muttered, firing retrothrusters to skim the surface, using gravity to slingshot back into the fray. His return volley crippled a Krulg cruiser, turning the tide. The Dominion retreated, leaving wreckage orbiting like a grim halo. Victory at Proxima emboldened humanity. They launched counterstrikes, using captured tech to leapfrog across systems. Hale's labs produced bioweapons tailored to Krulg physiology, non-lethal inhibitors that sapped their strength, forcing surrenders. Voss devised ghost fleets, decoy holograms laced with mines, luring enemies into traps. Yet, the war extracted its toll. On the colony world of New Eden, a Vexery infiltration led to a massacre. Thorn arrived too late, walking through ruins where families lay amid smoldering habdomes. A survivor, a young girl named Arya, clutched a datapad with her parents' final message, "Fight on." Thorn knelt, eyes burning. "We will," he promised, adopting her into his crew. She became a symbol, her resilience mirroring humanity's. Internal strife tested them too. Dissenters argued for peace overtures, calling the war endless. Thorn faced a mutiny on the Resilience, officers demanding negotiation. The Dominion won't listen, he argued. They see weakness in mercy. Drawing on the proverb, he challenged the leader to a duel not of arms, but will. In the Simdeck, they endured virtual tortures, pushing mental limits. Thorn emerged unbroken, the mutineer yielding. "You've destroyed your doubts," the man admitted. Unity restored, they pressed on. The turning point came at the Battle of the Rift, a wormhole nexus linking core worlds. The Dominion amassed their grand fleet, intent on severing human supply lines. Thorn's forces, outnumbered 3-1, arrived under cloak. Voss orchestrated the ambush, human ships emerging from the wormhole's event horizon, catching enemies off guard. Explosions lit the void. Thorn's fighter danced through laser grids, targeting command vessels. A Vexery dreadnought loomed, its captain broadcasting taunts, "Surrender, primitives. Your peace failed, now you fall." Thorn laughed, a sound raw with defiance. "Peace failed because you broke it. But we prevail." He dove into the ship's defenses, unleashing a payload of Zorathian disruptors. The dreadnought faltered, its shields collapsing. Chain reactions rippled through the fleet. As the Dominion scattered, a Zorathian vessel appeared, their elders projecting a message, "The flame burns bright. We join you." Neutrality shattered, they bolstered human lines with psionic shields. The rift secured, humanity gained momentum. They liberated enslaved worlds, earning allies. Species long oppressed by the Dominion, the avian Lyrans, the aquatic Thaler, swore fealty. Thorn's legend grew, the man who couldn't be broken, who turned weakness to weapon. But scars deepened. Voss lost her eye in a boarding action, Hale grappled with implant-induced visions of doom. Thorn, in private, wrestled nightmares of lost peace. Yet, each dawn in the stars, he reaffirmed, destroy the weak self, endure. The galaxy watched, murmurs turning to tales. Humanity wasn't just surviving, they were reshaping the stars. Word count for Part 2, approximately 2,680 words. Part 3, echoes eternal with the Rift's victory, the war's final act ignited across the galaxy's core. Humanity, now at the helm of a burgeoning alliance, surged toward the Dominion's heartworlds. The Vexery home of Sly the Prime and the Krulg Forge planet of Hammerfall became targets, symbols of oppression to be dismantled. Thorn, elevated to High Commander, charted the path from the Resilience's expanded bridge, Arya at his side as a budding strategist. The end is near, he told her, but victory demands our all. The campaign began with precision strikes. Voss led stealth incursions on Vexery outposts, using hacked cloaks to sow discord. Hale's psionic network linked allies, allowing coordinated assaults light years apart. Human ingenuity shown, drone swarms mimicking enemy signatures, gravity wells trapping fleets. The proverb echoed in training holos: the man who destroys his weak self can never be destroyed by others. Soldiers internalized it, pushing beyond limits, enduring G-forces that cracked bones, hacking code under fire. The Dominion, desperate, unleashed horrors. On the frontier world of Echo's End, they deployed a bioplague engineered to target human DNA. Colonies withered, screens echoing through calms. Thorn rushed aid, but arrived to fields of the fallen. Rage boiled, his weak self urging blind revenge. He quelled it, channeling fury into strategy. Hale, drawing on Zorathian lore, synthesized an antidote from alien flora. The plague reversed, it backfired on Krulg hosts, weakening their lines. Emboldened, humanity assaulted Slitha Prime. The planet's atmosphere shimmered with defensive webs, vexery ships coiling like serpents. Thorn's armada pierced the veil, fighters weaving through anti-air barrages. In the capital's spires, ground teams, led by Voss, fought tentacled guardians in zero-G corridors. Thorn landed amid chaos, his prosthetic arm crackling with energy mods. A vexery overlord confronted him in the throne chamber, its form shifting like smoke. "You are insects," it hissed. "Peace was your delusion." Thorn advanced, rifle steady. Peace failed, but humanity prevails. He fired, the shot disrupting the creature's core. As it dissolved, systems cascaded, defenses offline, fleets surrendering. Slitha fell, vexery pride shattered. Hammerfall followed, a molten world of forges and fury. Krulg legions charged human dropships, hammers clashing against powered armor. Thorn coordinated from orbit, directing orbital lances to crack planetary shields. On the surface, amid lava flows, soldiers adapted, heat-resistant suits from scavenged tech. A Krulg warlord, towering twice a human's height, challenged Thorn in ritual combat. "You fight well, small one," it rumbled, swinging a gravity maul. Thorn dodged, his mind clear. Weakness, doubt in his aging body tugged, but he destroyed it, countering with precision strikes. Augmented strength met brute force, the warlord fell, hammer clattering. "Yield," Thorn demanded. The Krulg, honoring strength, capitulated. Hammerfall's forges turned to alliance production, arming the victors. With Dominion pillars crumbled, remnants fled to Elisera Prime, fortifying the ruined Concordance halls. The final battle loomed, a symphony of species united under human banners. Zorathian shielded mines, Liran scouted skies, Thaler flooded enemy holds. Thorn's fleet encircled the world, broadcasting terms: surrender and rebuild. Fight, and be remembered as fools. The holdouts resisted, unleashing automated defenses. Skies filled with fire, ground quaked with charges. Thorn led the assault, Arya piloting his shuttle. In the central chamber, amid holographic ghosts of past summits, the last vexery Krulg leaders stood defiant. "You cannot erase us," a Krulg growled. "We don't need to," Thorn replied. "The galaxy will remember your fall and our rise." The clash was swift, allies overwhelming, psionics unraveling deceptions. Leaders captured, the war ended not in annihilation, but submission. Peace returned, forged in humanity's image. The new concordance rose on Elisera, with Thorn as chancellor. Species mingled, lessons etched in stone, peace fails when trust erodes, but resilience endures. Years passed. Thorn, grayed but unbroken, stood on a balcony overlooking rebuilt spires. Arya, now an ambassador, joined him. "They remember," she said, gesturing to stars where tales spread, humanity's triumph, the proverb's wisdom. "The galaxy will remember," Thorn echoed. "We prevailed because we destroyed our weaknesses. And, in that, we became indestructible." Echoes rippled outward, a legacy of stars. Word count for Part 3, approximately 2,670 words, total word count, approximately 8,000 words, 10.4 sexpert.